Hello and welcome to my review of the Orks Painboss for Warhammer 40,000 from Games Workshop. Now this model will cost you £23.50 and consists of 21 pieces. You can build the Painboss and the Grot Orderly. Painboss has a choice of two head options, one with a bear head, not the animal, and one with a bionic eye, while the other has a crude bucket helmet made from scrap metal. However, in the description it also doesn't tell you that the Painboss has two melee weapon choices, which is great. And usually when single miniatures are like £23 or £24, £25, I'll make a big fuss about the price, but actually this Painboss is worth it compared to other single minis of the same price point for a number of reasons, and I'll go through them in this review. The format of the review is I'll look at the mini up close and personal, I'll show you those spare parts, we'll go through some size comparisons, and then I will illustrate the size comparisons. Unfortunately I don't own Mad Dot Grotznick, but I do own a Pain Boy, so at least I can give you a size comparison with that. And I think Dot Grotznick is based on the like 2005-6 metal model anyway, so it's probably looking a bit small nowadays. Anyway, one thing I'll just highlight straight away is I'm not a big fan of this particular's, front page of the blister pack. It's got so much writing either side, and the model is quite far away. Typically, we're used to miniatures right at the front. I mean, they're the same company, Games Workshop and Forge World. Games Workshop created Forge World, and it's just disappointing that you look at the same size blister pack front page compared to the 40K. The Horus Heresy one is just fantastic. You've got a small little bit of writing there in the different languages. It says warning, this is not a toy, and this is for 15 plus as well. I guess you've got some different languages there for like Orks Painboss. But the model is closer up, the font is just larger. Maybe they would usually put all of that writing kind of on the back, like this one is, and they ran out of space because they have to put the little, very small, profile and the instructions, which is a one-up because, you don't get instructions with some of the Horus Heresy stuff. But all in all, the instructions are quite good. Their colour, they're numbered, they're a step up from the old black and white ones, of course. But I'm just a bit, disappointed with that front page of the blister pack. I thought I'd bring that to your attention. It can go in the recycle bin forever. Let's have a look at this Painboss up close. We've never had a Painboss before. The closest we've had is Mad Dot Grotznick, but I like this model. When I first saw it with the bucket head or just with this one, I prefer this because he is a beast snagger, the equivalent of a Pain Boy, but an actual HQ choice as opposed to an elite choice. But the bare head, it suits this Painboss, because he's out there in the field, hunting creatures probably, or performing all kinds of surgeries. I like his pose. I like the fact that he's fully kind of modified himself. Maybe another Pain Boy or Painboss has operated on him. I don't know whether he's even operated on himself, but he's got this quite cool exoskeleton harness thing that attaches to his knees, to the backpack or power plant. It's got a bag of tools and spare parts, like a bionic forearm. You've got this canister, which I guess you could put some interesting liquid in there. You've got the cables that run to this snagger claw, which is a bit like a power claw but worse, which is odd, but I like the ingenuity of both the pizza cutter, the claw part, and then two needles, a bit like a snake's head. Like it's, if that grabs onto you, it's going to inject you with something. It's odd because there's a big gap there, so when it grabs on, it's only got a small contact point, and the same with the pizza cutter area. I would have liked them a bit further up, but you know, it does the job. It looks like a snake's head. It's quite cool. I like this blood bag little squiggly beast thing. That's quite cool, and it's on a drip just in case. You've got some more tools dangling from his utility belt, like some pliers, like some forceps, and a bone saw. You know, his power plant backpack is kind of riveted into his chest, which is interesting. So yeah, that's the Painboss. Quite cool. You also get a grot orderly though, a little grot that's been again modified, maybe for efficiency. He's equipped with this like little claw. Don't know if you can see him. Sorry. Wait, that's better. Now we have some light. With a like a claw, and he's got his face mask, but you know, clearly doesn't go over his nose. And then he's got a drill, and he's had his legs completely severed and replaced with a little 50cc engine and one wheel, like a unicycle. So that's the grot orderly. It's quite cool that you get one of those as well. No customizations options for him, but there is for the Painboss in the form of these two. So this is the Power Snapper, which you can go for. I think the Power Snapper would work better with the bucket head, but it is personal choice, you know, the way a model looks. But this is the bucket head. That looks quite cool. That looks quite orky. That would work more in a sort of traditional Ork army, but I wanted to get the feel of the Beast Snaggers more with their models, like the Beast Boss and the Beast Boss on Squigosaur. So I wanted them kind of like as feral as possible. But yeah, you know, if you wanted a second Painboss, which is recommended, you know, it would change them. It would change the look of it a little bit. You know, having a different head and a different arm. Maybe you could possibly use this as a Power Snapper, and maybe you could probably use that head on one, but there we go. So they're the spare parts. What we'll do now is we'll just go through some of the size comparisons. So here is the Painboy, first of all. The Painboy is on a 32mm base, the Painboss is on a 40mm. The Painboss is about the same sort of size increase as you would get from a boy to a knob, really. So I actually think, you know, the Painboss should be a bit bigger, you know, like a Beast Boss. But having said that, the Painboy is a little bit bigger than a normal Ork boy, but not as big as my knob. Yeah, Painboss is bigger than a Painboy, but it's still not as big as the usual war bosses that we're used to. So I hope that all makes sense. Compare the Painboss to my knob right here. Painboss is a little bit taller, just a little bit, but not kind of like a massive increase compared to like the war boss in Mega Armor. I mean, look at the size of him compared to the Painboss, and technically they are both you know, bosses. They're both HQ choices, but obviously this one is like one of the biggest orks you can get. Compared to, I know I'm going to get smashed in the comments if I don't do this. So here is one of the Snagger boys. Here is one of the new Ork boys, and here is one of the very old Ork boys. So as you can see, you know, he's still big enough to boss around the Snagger boys. And does share quite a few aesthetics, so he would work well as like a second boss with the Beast Boss, or Beast Boss on Squigosaur, compared to a normal Ork boy. Again, he's going to be bigger than them, bossing them around, and an old Ork boy is going to be a fair bit bigger than one of those. So that's where he stands up next to Ork models. I'll just show him next to some Imperium models. So we've got Space Marine on the left, Primaris on the right, and then Slime Marbo in the middle. Compared to the Space Marine, he is a bit taller. Compared to the Primaris though, Primaris is a little bit taller, sort of head height, but then the Painboss has got a few other things going on his backpack, on his back. So yeah, if you're going up against Primaris, they're going to be sort of evenly sized. The lieutenants might, depending on the post, lieutenants might be a bit taller than him. Captains definitely. And then Sly Marbo is probably about almost chin height. He's probably about chin height to him. So yeah. Hope those size comparisons have helped. So this is my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules for this Painboss. You'll find him in the HQ section, and he is the only healing model in the HQ, so he is your boss medic. As I've already mentioned, the Pain Boy is in the elite section. I'll go through some of the comparisons of the rules between them in a moment, but the Painboss will cost you 5 power points or 80 points. It's going to cost you an extra 5 points for the Beast Snagger Claw and the Grot Orderly. So you don't have to take a Grot Orderly, but I would recommend it. So you're looking at 90 points with what you see there. So his stat line reads movement of 7 inches, weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 5, toughness 5, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 8, and a save of 4+. Not too shabby. I like the fact that he's a 7-inch movement speed. That's not to be overlooked. You know, those extra 2 inches, they make all the difference. And I think that's because of his bionic legs. He's certainly a quicker medic than the Pain Boy. And that's what you want. I think that's quite clever of Orks, to have like a medic, that is faster than you know, the standard troops. I like that. I wish Mechanicus had something like that. In fact, he's probably like the fastest Ork army on foot. I mean, Boss Snickrot moves 6 inches, which is quite cool, and so do the Commandos, so they're a little bit faster. But yeah, he's movement of 7 inches. A Painboss is equipped with a Power Snapper, so that's the weapon that I haven't equipped him with. That pluses 2 to his strength, that's strength 7, AP -2, damage 2. That's quite good, you know. He's only getting 4 attacks there though, and his weapon skill is only 3+. So he's not a Blood Angel's lieutenant or anything, but you can equip him with the Beast Snagger Claw, which adds +4 to his strength. That's a nice strength 9. So you're going to be wounding on the 2+ against like Space Marines. AP -3. They're only going to be getting their 6+ saves, and a damage of 2. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. So that's the downside of this. You know, with those 4 attacks, you've only got a 50% chance of them going through. Whereas if you use the Power Snapper, although you get worse AP, the strength is still 7. So against squishy armies like Guard and Eldar, Dark Eldar, things like that, it's still going to be quite effective. The other war gear, the Grot Orderly. Once per battle, if a 1 is rolled when using the bearer's Sawbones ability, you can re-roll the dice. I'll go through the Sawbones ability. So basically, you can just re-roll that one. The model's Power Snapper can be replaced with 1 Beast Snagger Claw. This model can be equipped with 1 Grot Orderly. Abilities: Beast Snagger, here we go. War, Docks, Tools. While a friendly clan infantry, clan biker, or clan cavalry unit is within 3 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit would lose a wound, roll 1d6. On a 6, that wound is not lost. So that's alright, but it's only like a feel no pain of a 6, so it's not the best. However, Sawbones, at the end of your movement phase, this model can heal 1 friendly clan Beast Snagger infantry, clan biker, or clan Beast Snagger cavalry model whose unit is within 3 inches of it. If you do so, roll 1d6. On a 1, that model suffers 1 mortal wound. Oh dear. On a 2+, that model regains up to 2 lost wounds. Each model can only be healed once per turn. So it's worth having that Grot Orderly, because it means that you're not causing another mortal wound on one of your characters. And that is the main reason you'll get this Painboss. It's not for his close combat ability or his Power Claw or anything like that. It's actually the Sawbones rule. The ability to repair infantry, bikers, and cavalry. Bearing in mind it's only Beast Snagger, so you can't really be going around near Gazgul and repairing him or any of the other characters unless they have this Beast Snagger keyword. And speaking of keywords, Orks, clan, character, infantry, Beast Snagger, Pain Boy, Painboss. So there you go. That is my review of the Painboss. It's nice to see a Painboss, an HQ medic in the Ork force. I would have liked to have seen like a proper Painboss for an HQ choice, because although Mad Doc Grotznik is a character, he isn't actually an HQ choice, which does suck. At least the Painboss gets an invulnerable save, and the 4+ is alright, and his, you know, his strength is obviously 5 and toughness 5 and 5 wounds, so he's a bit survivable in that way, but he's not going to be winning the battle for you in close combat. He's mainly there to run up with his bionic legs to heal wounds on your Beast Boss, maybe even your Beast Boss on Squigosaur or Mozrog. That would be quite horrific if you had him not that far away. I mean, their movement speed is 10 inches, so he's only a little bit behind, and he only needs to be within 3 inches. So technically for one turn at least, he's going to be within range. So yeah, bear that in mind. I think there's quite a specific use for him for the Beast Snaggers, and I would like to see, like I say, a proper Painboss, but a Painboss in the HQ section just for like the regular Orks, because surely there's plenty of Pain Boys. And now that Games Workshop have made a Painboss that isn't named, I believe in Gorka Mork to deliver an unnamed Painboss that can repair wounds for lots of other Orks and not just the Beast Snaggers. I think he's a cool model too, and as I said at the start, typically I would be affected by how much they're asking for this model, but I think in this case it is quite justified. But in this case I think it's a bit of an easier pill to swallow, considering you're getting 2 models and 2 different options for him. But what do you guys think? Please do put your thoughts and opinions of the Orks Painboss down in the comments below as always. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. For Gorka Mork.